Please disregard the activity 2, I am a rhombus, because the given in your activity sheets is incomplete. Thank you.
Activity 3. The diagonals of rectangle POWE intersect at R given that measure of angle EPW is equal to 46 degrees and line EO is equal to 25. Find the measure of the following. Number 1. Angle OWP. How do we get the measure of the alternate interior angle of this, which is angle OWP? By the way, remember our theorem AIAC? That means alternate interior angles are congruent. Ibig sabihin nito, parehong angles na nasa loob but on the opposite sides are congruent. And the opposite side of this angle is this angle. Therefore, angle EPW is congruent to angle OWP that measures 46 degrees. So, angle OWP is also 46 degrees in measure. Number 2, PR. Parallelogram property 4 states that diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Kung kanina, it bisects opposite angles, ngayon, diagonals bisect each other. Line PW bisect line EO. Then, line ER is congruent to line OR. Kasi nga, divided into two equal parts. Ganun din sa line PW, bisected by line EO. Then, EO measures 25. Therefore, 25 divided by 2 is equal to 12.5. Tama. If 12.5 ang line ER, ganun din dito. How about the measure of this? Remember our rectangle theorem 2 that says the diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. So in short, the measure of line EO is congruent with the measure of line PW. At dahil nga this diagonal was bisected, these two also measures 12.5. And therefore, line PR is equal to 12.5. Last activity for this week, read the statement and prove it using a two-column proof or paragraph proof. Will a diagonal of a rhombus ever bisect opposite angles? First thing to do is, draw the figure of rhombus, which is the given here, and a diagonal that bisects opposite angles. We're naming this figure as rhombus KILO. Then, we write angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. Because we want to prove that this diagonal bisects these angles. Then, given rhombus KILO, then prove angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 and angle 3 congruent to angle 4. We can use two-column or paragraph proof. Alin man sa dalawa, it's your choice. Pero let me show you first what a two-column proof looks like. Ano ang unang-una mong susulat sa statements? Tama, the given, which is rhombus KILO. And the reason for that statement is, it is the given. Sa next statement naman, pagbasehan natin yung figure at yung ipoprove natin dahil doon ang direction natin. As we know that this rhombus has four equal or congruent sides, kaya naman, line OK is congruent to line KI. That means, this side is equal in measure with this side. And of course, we also have line IL congruent to line OL. Meaning, line IL is equal to line OL. Ibig sabihin ng statements na ito ay lahat ng side nitong figure ay equal in sizes. Therefore, the reason for this is It is the definition of rhombus. Kung napapansin ninyo, meron na tayong side and side sa triangle na ito. And then another side and side sa triangle naman na ito. Next na i-prove natin ay itong side ng dalawang triangles. Line OI is congruent to line IO. Ibig sabihin, same size. Kung napapansin ninyo, pareho lang naman. Pinagbaligtad lang naman yung letters at ang tawag sa property na ito ay, yes, tama, reflexive property. Now, we can say that this triangle is congruent to this triangle. Therefore, triangle OKI is congruent to triangle ILO. Anong reason naman natin para rito sa triangle congruence na to? Correct. It is side, side, side congruence postulate. Kasi nga, kanina, we have side and side. And then, another side. Last statement is, angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 and angle 3 congruent to angle 4. Reason? CPC-TC. Ano nga ulit ang CPC-TC? Correct. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Paano naman kung ang gusto nyong proof na gamitin ay paragraph proof? Ganito lang, I will transform this two-column proof into paragraph proof. We are given rhombus KILO. By the definition of rhombus, we know that OK is congruent to KI and IL is congruent to LO. Also, we can say that OI is congruent to IO is an example of reflexive property. And because triangle OKI is congruent to triangle ILO is a SSS congruence postulate. Therefore, angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 and angle 3 is congruent to angle 4 because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Thank you for watching and learning with me, and stay tuned for our next virtual instructions.